I know where to start looking for the Paladin Strait music video. So, by all rational metrics, the period of time which we have now entered can no longer be considered early June. There are people saying that Tyler and Josh have lied to us, but I don't think that's quite true, and I think there's evidence to support that. But I am making this video because I've found myself at something of an impasse. I posted an update last Thursday saying I was going to take some time to work on new videos, because I wanted to have something more concrete to present. But I found myself at a point where I have some interesting and I think important pieces of a puzzle, but I'm not sure how to connect them, or where to go next. As the music video for Paladin Strait has become more and more delayed, I've seen people saying things like, well, maybe they hid it somewhere for us to find. An idea which I always found intriguing, but which was always shot down by other people saying if they did that, they would have given us an obvious starting point. I believe they did. I also think it's a very real possibility that the video has been out there for us to find since June 1st, and I'll explain in a moment why that date in particular. At the risk of stating the obvious, we've been presented with a number of cryptic images, phrases, words, and numbers since the start of the Clancy era, despite Tyler claiming everything was going to be much more clear and upfront. At some point, a number of people decided that all these clues were leading to a double album. Now, I'm not saying there's a 0% chance that will be the case, but I don't think it's as likely as everyone thinks. I also don't think that's the only direction all these cryptic images and numbers could be leading. And if you take away that double album theory, you're left with a bunch of random clues that have to lead somewhere. But at the same time, I don't think a bunch of random clues is enough of a starting point in the hunt for the Paladin Strait music video. But why do I think this video has been available for us to find since June 1st? From May 30th to May 31st, the Clancy Digital Remains version was available for purchase and download. And I believe it was among these 121 pages that we were given the clue, the starting off point, which is why I believe the video must have been made available on the following day, so that anyone who was searching for it could actually find it. So where does the search begin? On page 65, we were given an entire unreleased song, entitled Drag Path, and subtitled Devil's Eyes. The lyrics were all handwritten, just like the lyrics for the rest of the songs in the booklet, but they were all crossed out, and the image was inverted, which I think is important. However, I think the lyrics themselves are the most important part here. So indulge me while I read through all of them. A drag path etched on the surface. I'm here again, conscious but defenseless or worthless. A drag path that's etched on the surface, with evidence I planned or left there on purpose. The off chance you feel compelled to save me again. A setback. For you, I'm just inconvenient, a minor inconvenience. I'm confident you'll find me. I dug my heels next to each other, as evidence for or that you too or will discover. A drag path that leads to my own prison. I'm confident you'll find me. A drag path etched on the surface, as evidence I left there on purpose. A setback, minor inconvenience. I dug my heels next to each other, as evidence for you to discover. A drag path etched on the surface. And I think it is that last verse which we need to focus on the most, since it repeats much of what was said before, but with more certainty. Tyler is telling us quite explicitly that he's left evidence for us to find, and in fact there are two key pieces to discover. A drag path etched on the surface, and I dug my heels next to each other. Leaving aside the drag path for a moment, because I have less of a concrete idea where that leads, let us consider that second phrase. Where was the last time we remember explicitly hearing about someone digging in their heels? It was in the Live from Outside version of Level of Concern, released way back in 2020. It was actually part of a new bridge, which was not included in the original version of the song, and which went as follows. You ask me if it's real. I see your shifting eyes. You're digging in your heels. I dig my hole to die. And what are people questioning the existence of now? The Paladin Strait music video. I know, that in and of itself is not enough of a strong foundation for any theory to stand on. But think about the big thing that happened during the Level of Concern era, if you will. It was that massive scavenger hunt, in which they sent us searching for clues all over the internet. And in the video, which they gave us as a starting off point for that hunt, there were various images and video clips which were cycling through on a TV screen, including something very interesting. We didn't give it a second thought at the time, nor should we have, because it didn't mean anything to us then. But now, when we see this image and hear the sound of birds chirping, we can only think of one thing. But why does the surveillance camera cut in? Well, the other song that comes to mind when reading the lyrics of Drag Path is No Chances. And in the second verse of that song, we hear the following. How did you get the location? Put together pieces? They say they sell the information in those terms of agreement. Surveillance is outside. We see when you arrive. So I have a hard time believing that Paladin Strait and the missing music video are not in some way linked to the level of concern scavenger hunt. Now, that's not to say that we'll find the answer by going back and re-solving that puzzle. I don't think that's the case at all. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I do not have anything concrete beyond this point. I'm not sure where to go next, but I do think we've been given a good jumping off point in the lyrics for Dragpath. We've not been left as blind as some people think. And who knows, maybe there's something hidden in that 60-second sequence of birdsong in the middle of Paladin Strait. Anyway, with that, this is the theory that I have so far. So let me know in the comments where you think we should go next. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more commentary and reviews. I'll leave you with one final point.
Yes, now, well, wait for us.